craziest thing happened to me on the way to my cruise. This lady, crazy lady, just crazy lady. I gotta tell you, I was driving, I was with my family, my wife, my daughter, and her parents, and we were going on this Carnival cruise, and we were at Long Beach in this traffic, just this crazy traffic for the cruise, all right? It was just a ridiculous, like an hour and a half traffic line. We have to be there at a certain time, and we're running close to the time, otherwise the ship's gonna leave without time. I'm like, how are all these cars gonna get here in time? Anyway, we're sitting and waiting for an hour and a half, all right? And it comes to this point where we have to merge, right? There's about 2 or 3 lanes, basically 3 lanes that are merging together, right? And I'm in my Tesla, all right, my Model Y, and I am merging over. Now, this is California, all right? So here's what I do, all right? Here's how, and you can tell me if this is what you do, but this is what I do, all right? If I need to merge, if I need to get into a lane, I put my front tire into that lane, all right? And if my front tire's in that lane, what are you gonna do? You're gonna hit me, right? Like I'm in the lane, right? Because a lot of times in California, people they're mean. They don't want to let you merge. I don't even know what the hell they're thinking, but obviously you have to let people merge into a lane or switch lanes, right? They're like, if you're trying to switch lanes, people speed up on the highway, right? It's crazy, right? So anyway, I just put my front tire into the lane. Well, I was trying to get, merge into the lane. I had my turn signal on. This lady just keeps on speeding up, trying to block me from getting in there. So I'm like, fuck. I'm getting in there. Like, I need to merge. The lane is running out. I'm not gonna not get in there. So I put my front tire in there after going back and forth a little bit, trying to get in there. And she just full speed ahead, just rams my car. All right. She hits the mirror on the passenger side mirror and clips it. I thought she knocked the damn thing off, right? And so I'm like, what the, I can't believe it. Everyone in the car is yelling at her. I'm not. I'm just calm. I'm just like, telling her, I roll down the window and I'm like, hey, I need you to pull over. I need to exchange information from you. I need to get your insurance information. And she's like, no, you hit me. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Like, you tried to get in front of me. And I'm like, yeah, I had to merge, but I'm gonna need your insurance. I need to exchange. She's like, no, I'm not pulling over. You hit me, right? Or whatever. I don't even remember what exactly she was saying there, but she's just irate, right? And everyone else is kind of yelling at her, like, or like, I'm like, I'm gonna get your license plate, right? It's gonna be hit and run. You're gonna go to jail, right? So, they took my daughter took a picture of her license plate. Anyway, so long story short, finally I come up to a security guard, right? And I'm like, hey, this lady just purposely hit my car and she won't pull over. So security guard goes up to her, right, in the traffic and tries to tell her, hey, you need to pull over. She tries to hit the security guard with her car. Crazy. This is an older lady too, right? Just like, I don't know, she must be like 60 years old, something like that, right? I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Now the security guard's pissed off. She finally tells her, look, you have to pull over. Those we're going to get the police involved. Unfortunately, it'd probably been better if she didn't pull over and I just had a hit and run, because it would have been easy, no problem. But anyway, what happens is I get her information and whatever, she's complaining, whatever, but I file with her insurance, all right? Now, you think this would be a slam dunk. I got 4 people in the car that just saw this happen. My mirror is freaking clipped, it's damaged, right? She got no damage to her car, right? There's probably cameras on the roadway there, I would imagine, right? So, I talked to the insurance agent and they're like, yeah, I mean, probably it's gonna be your word against hers. I'm like, well, I got 4 witnesses, like there's damage to my car, there's no damage to her car. If you look at the way the damage was, it had to be from behind. I didn't have my Tesla dash cam, unfortunately, because I didn't have a USB drive in there. But, I did have some video of her refusing to pull over, right? So anyway, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen with this, right? But here's the point, all right? Here's where I'm getting at with this, which is that, shit happens. Shit happens in life. I was just at the bank today trying to get some documents notarized, and a fucking car drove into the bank, like drove through the wall of the bank, all right? It didn't hit me, but I was out of there. It was funny because other people were just standing around. They're just standing around. And I'm like, I grabbed my wife and I went out the emergency exit, set off the alarm. Because I'm like, I'm not going to find out what the fuck is going to happen when this guy gets out of the car, or what is this? Is it a bank robbery? I don't know what the fuck it is. Maybe elderly guy just ran into the bank. But I don't know. Maybe it's someone who's going postal. Maybe they worked at the bank and now they're like, I'm not finding out. I'm not sticking around to find out. I was surprised how many people were sticking around. I was out of there like this. I grabbed my wife, boom. I'm like, we're getting out of here. She's like, what's going on? I'm like, we're not sticking around to find out what's going on. Believe me, we're getting out of here, right? Turns out it was nothing, but I mean, it's still something. But anyway, the point is shit happens, okay? And I don't know what's going to happen with this insurance claim, but I'm not losing any sleep over it. I might have to end up paying to have my mirror replaced on this car, okay? Even though this lady rammed me, all right? But if it happens, it happens, right? I'm going to go through the channels. I'm going to do my best to make the best case, but I'm not going to stress about it. I'm just going to put out the details. If I have to file with my insurance, whatever has to be done, I'm just going to do all the steps that I can that's prudent and necessary. And then at the end of the day, whatever happens, happens. Okay. And this is the thing that you have to understand about life is that, you know, the idea of acceptance, it does not mean complacency. A lot of people get confused and they're like, oh, if I'm just accept everything, that means I just tolerate and I'm just complacent. That's not the case. Okay. You have to understand that complacency is when you don't care and you don't take the action that you need. That's complacency. It's when you're not taking the action. Being non-attached, acceptance, is when you still follow through and do what you're supposed to do, but you don't allow it to emotionally affect you. Do you understand the difference, right? So, you know, this is just a good example, but this happens to me all the time. There's so many things that have happened to me in my life. One point I lost $300,000 in a real estate deal. Like a guy literally just stole it from me. He went to jail, all right? I couldn't recover any of the money. I went and ate dinner that day, okay? I did not allow it to ruin my day, right? Now, yeah, you might say, well, John, $300,000 isn't a lot to you. It is a lot to me, okay? It's a lot of money, especially this was a while ago too, when it was a lot more. So my point is that like, you have to let go of all this stuff. Yeah, shit happens to you and life is full of shit, but you have to realize that you can only control certain things, how you act, what actions you take, your perceptions of things, right? Those are the things that you can really control, all right? You can even control your thoughts to a degree. And you have to do the actions that you can and do the best that you can, and then you have to trust the process. You just have to just trust that whatever's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, and it's out of your control. You have to let the thing die, leave it alone, right? But it doesn't mean give up. It doesn't mean don't try. And this is a problem. Again, I dealt with this with a lot of guys when I was coaching them in dating, right? Because it's like, I would tell guys, look, you have to make stuff happen. You have to make shit happen tonight. You can't be like, oh, I hope it happens. You got to make it happen. But at the same time, you got to be disconnected from the outcome. You can't go and talk to a girl and be like, oh, you know, this has to, like, I'm putting so much pressure. She has to like me. She has to respond positively. You're going to screw it up, right? But at the same time, you have to have the mindset that I'm going to make things happen. What that means is you're going to put forth every single bit of effort that you can. But at the end of the day, you're not going to stress about it. You're not going to worry about it. You're going to say, I don't care what happens, but I care what I do. I care what effort I put into something, not necessarily what happens.